Breaking the Silence is a podcast that dives into the intricate and often challenging topics of grief and loss within relationships. Through insightful discussions, the podcast aims to explore how pain can be transformed into purpose, leading to healing and growth. By addressing themes such as inner child work and the journey towards feeling alive once more, this podcast offers a beacon of hope for those navigating difficult emotions. Ultimately, Breaking the Silence aims to guide listeners towards moving forward and embracing all the blessings that life has in store as they embark on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual fulfillment. I'm your guide through this journey, Renee Wallace, and I invite you to join me as we break the silence surrounding grief and loss, transforming pain into purpose and finding hope in the healing power of storytelling. Welcome to Breaking the Silence. I'm Renee.
And I am Kelli with an I.
And we are so happy that you are here with us. Grab something to drink, a cup of coffee, whatever, get cozy, and let's just chat. Anyways, so how's your week been?
It's been good so far. Yeah. I'm really surprised because they said it was supposed to rain all week. So I just kind of expected to be gloomy but it's beautiful out today. So, but anyway, yeah, so far it's been a pretty good week.
Yes, good. Mine too. It's been a busy week, because again, we're doing like a spur of the moment episode of like, this will air tomorrow. But a busy week trying to get I guess this is only Tuesday. Good grief. I feel like it should be further in the week, getting everything ready because logistically, I was thinking about this today, when you go in for surgery, as a single mom or a mom that there is no dad, around, it's not just plan the surgery for yourself. It is
Right.
the logistics of making sure everything's covered for your kids. They have rides where they need to be because obviously I won't be able to drive afterwards. And, just all those things, making sure all the groceries, all the logistics of it. So anyways, so that's been this week has been busy just getting making sure I have everything done, making sure I've confirmed everybody knows who's getting my kids and getting them where and all that stuff. And so
Right.
anyways.
Yeah. What time is your surgery tomorrow?
Surgery's actually at 9:10. So anyways. So yeah, pray for me at 9:10. Actually, arrival time 8:00. And she said, they'll get me hooked up to the IV and all that and give me something to relax me and all that stuff and
Yeah.
surgery at 9:10. So
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was just saying, we were just kind of talking before we started recording,
Mhm.
and I was just gonna tease you on air even to say that, you're gonna have to take it easy and stuff like that. But I know you. I've seen your children that you've had and how you deal with pain, and you'll probably be out eating a cheeseburger, mowing the grass.
What? Surgery? Do you remember, as a matter of fact, talking about that, do you remember I got my wisdom teeth taken out and I literally was at Kings Island that weekend, the next day or whatever?
Yeah, I think that day or the next day, I want to say it was that day. City Center was open, and I remember
Yes.
shopping.
I don't know if it was the same day.
It might have been the same day, but it definitely was next day or something. We went to City
Maybe
Center.
the next day was City Center, and then the day after that was Kings Island. And
Yeah,
yeah,
because that's where you should be, on a fast moving roller coaster.
roller coaster right after having your wisdom teeth taken out. Yes, absolutely.
Don't worry, keeping this girl down.
Coming loose or anything. Oh, I know. It's so funny. Well, first of all, just a shout out to you because you're asking about somebody taking care of me. I was like, I'll take care of myself. And you're like, I'll come over and take care of you tomorrow. I'll come over after work tomorrow. And I'm like, you're the best bestie ever.
Well, I'm probably not gonna bake a casserole or something. I will swing by McDonald's for you.
I did think about some things you're starting to run through everything through your head. Again,
checklists of like, okay, is this taken care of? This taken care of? I was like, okay, wait a minute. Pain medications. Hold on. I had those called into courthouse. Like that means whoever's bringing me home.
Yeah.
I then need someone to go, like either they need to go on to courthouse to get my pain meds. I should have like thought that through and had it called in and do like Grove City. Because, you know, like as you're coming home, you just stop at Grove City, pick them up and just come on home. Like that's exactly what I did with Brady. I think after his shoulder surgery, I had them call him into Grove City and I'm like, that's perfect. I'll just swing by, get him from the CVS there and we'll head on home. So I didn't think that went through very well.
Yeah.
Not
Let's say, like, I mean, depending on how you're feeling tomorrow, because I will come, because I thought about that. I was like, I mean, I'll definitely come out, but I was like, I don't know if you're going to be sleeping or things like that. But kind of time-wise, maybe even by the time you're getting out of recovery or stuff, and I'm getting there, I could even stop and get you that too. So
yeah, I guess it's just
give you something there, and your medicine that you're going to be putting out, you're going to still have that in your system.
Right. And it's so funny. I mean, everybody's so different, but like I know even when which last year, don't get me wrong, this was not like a surgery where I was fully put under in like a couple hours of surgery.
Yeah.
But they had given me something that would almost, well, they said I wasn't supposed to even remember anything, like not even being there or anything. I remember every bit of it. I'm like, I can tell you guys every single detail.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're going to be really like groggy the rest of the day and everything. I came home and I was like, I'm good to go. Let's go. Like, I mean, I didn't drive. Like, I knew not to do that. Yeah. But like, I rode along. I don't know. Like, we went to, I think, pick up medicines or whatever. I rode with Braylon. She took me, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like, I'm good. I never even went to sleep or anything when I got home. So,
but well, I definitely pass out. Like, well, I do remember I got my wisdom teeth pulled. I think it was our senior year of high school. And I was completely out of it, but I woke up at some point afterwards, you know, just my anesthetic and stuff. And one of the girls in the office must have been getting married. I remember they were all in there, like talking about the wedding. I think they were like doing measurements for dresses and stuff. Either that or I was hallucinating, but I'm pretty sure I was awake and I was like, they must have thought that I was really out of it. But I'm just like, oh yeah, everybody come in and just.
I remember the doctor at one point being in there, the other doctor, and she's like, she said something about me like being like out of it or something. I'm like, I'm awake. I answered her. But this was not like, I was not fully put under, you know? Yeah. So like, for sure, like when I have been like fully put under, like, yes, I come home and I'm groggy and sleepy and all that. And anyways, but, yeah, so we'll see how it all goes. But I do know, like, I am for sure ready for the relief of it because it has just put so much, like it's just progressively just keeps getting worse. Like so much pressure on my ears. And like a couple weeks ago, a headache like I have never had in my entire life. You know, I was even talking to you on the phone at one point and I like start crying. I'm like, and we were talking about something and I'm like, I've never had a headache like this in my life that would make me even remotely cry. I mean, it's not like I was bawling, but I was like, oh my gosh.
Right. Yeah. I was like, you need to go to the ER right now.
Yes, you thought I was having a brain aneurysm. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm not. I'm pretty sure it's just the sinuses and all the pressure. But anyways, well, I thought we would talk about a couple things before. Well, a couple things about last week that I started thinking about after the podcast, which first of all, that podcast was just so fun. Like I even listened to it afterwards and I just laughed at us. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe like that we're even sharing some of these stories. And I will also say, first of all, they were not just my stories because you were a part of them. So they were our stories. I might have been the instigator, but maybe. But I did want to say, like, you know, like several times last week, and that I was thinking about it and how I said, like, I was such a bad kid. Like, I don't even know why your mom lets you hang out with me. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, but I wasn't really a bad kid. First of all, I made bad choices. I was not a bad kid. So I want to clarify that even for other people, like whatever choices you're making, yes, we might make bad choices, but it never says anything about us at our core. Like it does not define us. Those choices I made did not define who I was, you know? I was still a good
Right.
kid at my core. I just made poor choices.
Yeah.
But I also started thinking about this and thinking, like, I grew up really, really fast, you know? Like, and I
Yeah.
think maybe that, do you feel like you grew up really fast?
Yeah, I do.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, thinking back, like, I started thinking about it. And, you know, I was babysitting by 10 years old. Like, that
Mm-hmm.
to me now seems pretty mind blowing to me.
Right.
Um, and I was just super mature for my age. And yeah, so I think that, well, I think that was a huge piece of like, you know, just growing up so fast and then maybe even like some of the anger of, well, for one, of course, for my childhood and different things in that, but also like
Mhm.
maybe not even being able to slow down and really be just a kid, you know?
Right.
And that's one of the things with my kids. I don't know how you feel about this, but like with my kids, like I'm like, no, I'm not in a big hurry for my kids to grow up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it will happen and they will have to be adults and they will have to do all the adult things.
Mm-hmm.
Be kids as long as you possibly can.
Right.
Like that's even, I was huge on like my kids not having tons of like just sitting in front of the TV and playing games all the time. Like go out and play. Like when they were younger, go
Yeah.
play, go outside and play. Like
Yeah.
no TV, none of that until 7 o'clock at night. Like summer is for being outside playing, having fun. So
Yeah.
anyways, do you have any thoughts on even what made you feel like you grew up so fast?
Yeah. I just feel like I was around because I was the only child for a while.
Mm,
I think
yeah.
I saw a lot. I was around a lot. I was in a lot of adult conversation.
I was going to say, you were sort of your mom's sidekick, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think that is a huge piece of it when you are constantly like, because your mom like took you everywhere with her, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I think that sort of you grow up a lot quicker when you're just constantly with the adult, you know? And,
Right. Yeah.
and like you said, if you're, especially if you're a part of adult conversations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and it's funny because I will even think back. I mean, I guess I haven't in a while until like kind of this conversation, but even years ago, I would think about things that would have happened. And I was like, I almost feel like I was more mature at that age. And literally, I will look back and I'll be like, I was in the fourth grade. It'll be something like then, or sixth grade, or eighth grade. And I'm like, we were not even, what were we between like 11, maybe 10, 13, 10, 14, something like that. And I'm like, we were not grown. But I literally would feel like there were instances and conversations and stuff that happened. And I'm like, I felt so mature at that time. And I was like, we were kids.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you think about all the stories that we even talked about last week,
Mm-hmm.
like that made sense to me back then. Like I felt
Yeah.
like I was so grown up, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, then, yeah, I mean, we maybe joked about like the schnapps or something at the time, but I mean, it really wasn't questioned. I mean, I felt like we were cool. We were like 23, right? We had our own apartment,
Right.
you know, starting our
Apartment as we're
careers.
sneaking out my bedroom window or you're
Yeah. But definitely, I think that for you, I think too, just longing for something, you know,
no, for sure.
searching for things at that time. And you and I did have a conversation after that too. You know, people might be like, you know, we can be judged or be like, oh my gosh, you know. But at the same time, I was like, you know, it's kind of that questioning that we had about it. And I was like, but we have those moments in our lives, not that we're by any means perfect now, but
No.
we've learned from that. You know what I mean? We learned from that. We learned from our mistakes, you know,
Mhm.
by the grace of God, you know, we matured. We didn't stay there, you know, but you know,
And some,
that was just a moment of life, you know?
yeah. And a couple thoughts on that. Like, well, for one, yes, we learn from our mistakes. Some we keep doing, like some might still make mistakes. I mean, we all make mistakes. That's not, you know, but I'm saying like God will still give us
Mhm.
the same test over and over until we get the point. Like if you're not,
Oh,
you know, how many times you went
I
to the
hate
test
that
for me?
one.
I'll give it to you as many times as you need.
Yeah. I'm a bad test taker.
And then my other thought about that is I was talking to someone and somehow it came up about having the podcast. And she's so funny. She was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm sort of talking to someone famous. I'm like, not by a long shot. But my point being, like, I was telling her what last week's podcast was about, and I was like, you're going to know all my like stories and stuff. And I said, I sort of wondered, like, gosh, should I have shared that stuff? And she was like, yes, you absolutely should have, because that is what people want to, and it's true. Like, that's, people want relatable and people want real. And, like, you can show people where you were at. And like you said, yes. And I've acknowledged that before in the podcast of who I was and stuff. I very much was searching and longing and wanted family and wanted what I thought family was supposed to look like, not what mine was necessarily.
Right.
And looking for it in all the wrong places, for a lot of years, and angry and rebellious. And so, and her story too is so incredible. And so that's what she was like, because when I was teasing about her hearing all my stuff, she was like, that's okay, because you know all my stuff too. And her story is so, so powerful. Like, I talked to her again today, and I was like, if you are allowed, because of her job, I don't know if she would be allowed, but I was like, I would love for you to be a guest on the podcast, because let me tell you, her story is just amazing, like incredible. Like, we even just talked today about how God had his hand over her life, her whole entire life. And I don't want to give away too much of it, but she got mixed up into some really, really deep things, and just an incredible story. So I really, really hope that she is able to share her story on the podcast, because it is powerful and it just shows what God can do, and there's really, when you hear a story, there's no other explanation for it, because like I told her even today, like, oh my gosh, God's hand was all over your life and all that.
Right. Yeah.
So anyways, and it's interesting too, even talking about that, like today when her and I were speaking, like, and then it was flip-flopped, because like last week here she was telling me like, oh no, you absolutely should be sharing that. And then today her and I were talking, and she has some things going on right now, and we all have those stages and those seasons, right? And she was like, here I am trying to help other people, and I'm wondering, like, am I even making a difference, because I can't even help myself right now. And she can help herself, but she's just, there's stuff going on, like,
Right.
As parents, we have stuff going on sometimes. And I told her, I said, but you are making a difference, because the stuff that you're going through, when you sit and even talk with me and we can talk about it, like, that lets me know, like, you get it, like, you see it, you hear me, like, and the people that you're helping, they feel seen and they feel heard, because you can relate to what they're going through or whatever. Like, so my point in all this and saying is, even to the listeners, no matter what is going on in your life at the moment, like, you are making a difference. Even if you're in the midst of a struggle, sometimes it's people watching you in the struggle and how you handle the struggle. Like, what are you going to do with it,
Right.
Like, I think, and you can interrupt me at any time.
No, you're fine.
I think sometimes, like, I think back to like before even Dave and Bryant passed and all that stuff, and thinking, actually, probably the first time I really thought about it was when Bryant passed. Like, it is so easy to praise God when it's good, right? But what are we going to do? That's when your true character is going to show.
Right.
What are we going to do when you lose your child, or when you lose the father of your children, or you lose a friend, or whatever adversity you go through?
Right.
There's the true test of, like, and that's what people, and then that is what inspires or encourages or motivates other people, because then they see, hey, if you can walk through this really hard stuff and you can still point to Jesus or have joy or use your story to make a difference in other people's lives, then yeah, that's what matters, that it makes a difference.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, if I didn't have a faith in God and I didn't have a relationship with God, I mean, even just in day-to-day life, even things that seem like mundane or aren't really, just to be able to kind of call out to him or cry out to him, or just feel like you're even heard by him, that, and just knowing this too shall pass, this is just this is just a season. This is just a roadblock, whatever.
Right. Well, and even
I would to not have that hope, or just every day just be able to give him glory and things like that. So if you just remind of Charlie Kirk and stuff, seeing Erica and her testimony and all that stuff, and just she still has a very, very, very long road to walk for sure. But with God, her faith, her village that is around her, just to be able to see her up there. And anyway, yeah, just for myself, yeah, even without my faith, like I just don't know how people do it without faith. I mean, it's just,
There's a couple things about the whole, like everything since that happened with Charlie Kirk, like that really just hit me hard of like, well, for one, okay, just even talking about just the funeral on Sunday and watching her, like, first of all, I know because I've walked it. Yes, she is just at the beginning of it. And like, there's almost that level of, I can remember Dave's funeral and you're just like, you're there, but you're not there. And like, there's so many details of the funeral, even that I don't remember at all. So I know that she just has, yes, like you said, a long road ahead of her of like, God gives you the strength to do everything you need to do within the funeral and all that. And, those moments planning the funeral and all those things. But then afterwards, like there's for sure there absolutely, of course, will be the complete breakdown. And then it also made me think of like, Charlie Kirk's dad, like they said, he broke down at one point and just like, not Sunday, but earlier, like right after he passed, like broke down and like sort of fell to his knees and like he was only 31. And it just reminded me so much of Bryant and just thinking I could just relate so much to that parent's heart of like, it's my baby and he's only 3. And, and him saying, it's my son, or my baby and he's only 31, like expect that your kids are going to live this really long life, this really full life.
Yeah.
So anyways, a couple of those things really stood out to me. So it's funny even too, like thinking about everything, because I was thinking about this the other day and it really sort of is right where Erica is even too, and that she really is going to need a village, like I think that was the first thing I realized after Dave died, because I hate asking for help. Yeah. And I knew like when Dave died, like I was going to have to ask for help.
Right.
Like I had 4 kids to finish raising. And I will say that has probably been the most humbling part of Dave dying for sure, is that it has humbled me so much to realize I truly need a village.
Right.
To do it. Like even no matter what it is, like especially even now, like even with me getting ready to have surgery tomorrow, like all the people that are, picking up the pieces that I can't do. And I don't have a partner to say, hey, like, can you get the kids here? And well, obviously I wouldn't even, they just would.
Right.
But anyways, like, very much realizing that I realized that after Dave, like it would for sure take a village. And that's probably been the most humbling thing of Dave dying. And I'm so thankful and appreciative of everybody that just like comes alongside and is like, whatever you need, like just let us know. And super thankful for that. And I think that for sure she will need that kind of support system too. I think even in the early days, because when you're raising kids and you're trying to grieve yourself, it's hard because you feel like you're trying to be strong for them and support them in their grief, but yet you need your time to grieve for yourself,
Right.
Excuse me.
For sure.
And I can remember like even, I mean, of course, this is almost 4 years ago now, like friends even taking my kids overnight and stuff for me, just to have time. And this was getting closer to Christmas. And I'm so thankful for that time, but that was a hard time too of like, when the kids were gone, it was the first time that I could really just like let, like you really could like not have to try to hold it together. Right.
Right.
And I just remember just sitting and sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. And
Mm-hmm.
in some ways it's good because I knew there was healing in that. And in some ways you're like, I don't want to be a mess like this, but
Right. Yeah.
but that's the only way that we can heal too. So
Yeah. And I think
and
there's such a fine line there too, because I know even then you and I have had that conversation. And, when I went through my divorce, I was, would cry like that and stuff. And it's such a fine line of like really wanting to be strong in front of your kids and not cry. But then let them see that part of you too, because I know some people then their kids didn't see them like that, saw them very strong, through all adversities and things like that. So as they have grown up, now they're looking at their parents and when they are going through a hard time, when they're crying, they're upset, and things like that, they feel like they are weak or they're not as strong as their parent because they did all that behind closed doors. And so they look up to the parent like they would emulate, like, how are you so strong and stuff like that. And it's like, because they weren't totally transparent. Now this child now feels like, why can't I keep it together like you did? When they weren't. They were just kind of doing, you know what I mean? So it's a fun line. Like, let me be strong for my kids so they don't always see me breaking down and, worrying or having anxieties. If mom's upset, then things must really be bad. But then again, as you grow up and you're like, you put that pressure on yourself of, I can't keep it together. I'm losing control, when really your parent was as well. They just kept it hidden.
right.
So,
Absolutely. I do think that's super important. And there is a fine line. Like, I don't think like we should be a complete mess all the time that our kids feel like, oh my gosh, like I gotta hold mom together,
Right.
So yes, I think like there's that fine line of like we can't be a complete mess, because there was for sure times that I dropped the kids off to school and then I'd sit in my car and bawl, or I'd stand in the shower and bawl. But I also did let them see me cry because, and it might not have been the like breaking down, sobbing like a total mess, but they for sure seem, and maybe looking back, I don't know, maybe I should have let them see even more of it. But yeah, like for sure the, tears and just holding each other and crying sometimes, and tears rolling down your face. And I even remember when Brady and I were leaving the hospital, we were walking out together when they had intubated Dave. And even at that moment, like me letting him know how scared I really was.
Yeah.
And I feel like that hopefully that was huge in the sense of me being vulnerable with my kids. And like, it's okay for us to say how we feel, right? Like,
Right.
I'm really scared.
Yeah.
And hopefully that wasn't like him being like, what? Mom's scared? Then I really need to be scared.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
He's a grown man too. So I think it was okay for us to both, because I know he was scared too. We all were.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't not be scared when somebody's intubated. And so anyways, yeah. So you are absolutely right. There is that fine line of like not being a mess, like completely falling apart where the kids are holding you together. But still, and I remember that even in hospice, Brian's nurse said it's okay for you can tell your kids, no, I'm not okay right now.
Yeah.
But I will be, or or I can't remember exactly. I think that's how they worded it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything isn't always okay, and so
Yeah.
and still trying to hold space for your kids too. So, anyways. Do you have any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
I don't think so. Just praying everybody has a good week ahead. Praying that your surgery goes well, and before you know it, you'll be healed and back on your feet. And
Yay!
so
won't have all this pressure like right now in my ears. Like I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. You have a totally different voice. You won't even sound the same.
You know what? That for real. Like, and first of all, like even me clearing my throat and stuff now, like that will probably all be gone, because I realize like, oh my gosh, that is probably even still part of the whole sinus issues and stuff. But even the nurse at the doctor's office, when they told me like, you have like severe sinusitis, like you need surgery. The nurse was like, I can totally hear it in you and you are going to feel so much better. And I didn't really even realize it. But now sometimes when I even like last week when I listened to the podcast, I was like, oh yeah, I do sound different.
Yeah. Well, I've never noticed it with you, so I don't know if it's just been here recent and not anything bad, but I do think you sound congested so much. But I don't think if it's been for a while, I've never even noticed it just
Do you
until
like I
like
sound like nasally?
recently. I don't think nasally. You just sound a little bit congested.
Okay.
Like
Well, yeah,
I don't think
because it's
it's
all
nasally.
stuck in there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I was just talking to a guy tonight, and he was saying he has sinus issues, and he's like, "Man, maybe I should really look into the surgeon," because he's like, "Oh my gosh, like, the drainage and everything is so bad." Like, not to get gross, but he's like,
Yeah.
"The drainage is so bad, like, I sometimes am, like, choking on it and stuff when I'm
Mhm.
sleeping and stuff," and I was like, "Well, the beginning of the year, like, it
Mhm.
sort of started like that with lots of drainage and, like, all that stuff, and, like and then my
Yeah.
nose got stuffed up, I remember that, and it's
Mhm.
just progressively gotten so much work and, like, worse, and now, like, nothing is happening, like, they
Yeah.
told me, like, up, like, in my forehead, that's probably all, like, polyps up in there,
Uh-huh.
and then everything's inflamed and just congested, and it's just, like, all just sitting there, and
Yeah.
so, yes, ready, just ready, um, for surgery and to feel better, and, yeah, okay. So, yes, anybody that listens to this tomorrow as we're wrapping this up, I would absolutely appreciate all your prayers. If you are a praying person, I very much would appreciate your prayers and just that everything goes smoothly. And um, yeah, and that I feel amazing and I have a quick, speedy recovery.
Yes.
Otherwise, we send you off with so much love. And I guess one thing I would say, just to send you off, just even thinking about again, the conversation I had with my friend earlier today, just know you all are making a difference in whatever you're doing. Like, even if life isn't perfect and all the things, mine and Kelly's is far from perfect.
Mhm.
Um, and but you still make a difference every day in somebody's lives, and I hope that you know that even if you feel like you're falling short or like you can't even hold it together within your family or you got stuff going on, whatever, just know you are making an impact and you are making a difference. And we send you up with so much love, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking the Silence. As we conclude our time together, let us carry forward the stories we've heard, the emotions we've shared, and the connections we've forged. Remember, the journey through grief and loss is not one we walk alone. In the silence, we find solidarity. In our shared experiences, we find strength. And in our vulnerability, we find resilience. If you or someone you know is navigating the complexities of grief, know that there is support available. Reach out, lean on your community, and remember that healing is not linear. It's a journey, and you are not alone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for being a part of this community. Until next time, may you find peace in the spaces between the silence. Please be sure to subscribe below and leave us a review. If you'd like to connect further, you can find me on Instagram at Coaching with Renee.